Hey everybody, we're here just a couple hours away from the premiere of the fifth and final season of SheRa and the Princesses of Power on Netflix to help you kind of bide the time until this finale you've been waiting for. We're just gonna talk and kind of check in with everybody. I'm Christian Holland from Entertainment Weekly. I've been covering the show for our site and will be in the next few days. If you get to stuff in the final season and want to know more, we might have articles about it. And now I'll just let everybody introduce themselves before we get into it.
Hey guys, I am Noelle and I am the showrunner of SheRa. Very excited to be here. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, I'm aimeecarrero. I play Adora / SheRa, and I'm sad that it's ending.
What's up, guys? MarcusScribner here. I voice Bo on SheRa, and I am also very sad that we're ending. Single tear.
Hi guys, it's KarenFukuhara, and I play Glimmer on SheRa and the Princesses of Power. And yeah, it's a really bittersweet ending. Sad that it's the final season, but excited for you guys to finally watch it.
Hi, I'm Lauren Ash. I play Scorpia on the show. Very excited to be here, and I'm going to echo the others. Bittersweet. What a journey. Half a decade, 5 years, you know? What a big time.
What a journey. Hi, guys. AJ Mashaka here. I play Katra on SheRa and the Princesses of Power. I'm currently quarantined with 5 dogs and not 1 cat.
Well, you got the ears to make up for it.
So I'm making up for it with the ears. I feel the same way. It's a very bittersweet ending to hit season 5.
Well, hey, like I feel like let's dive in on everybody talking about how bittersweet it is. Let's just start there. I'd love to kind of go around and just by asking, Lauren, like you said, it's 5 years, half a decade. It's been a long journey for you guys, and just kind of, how does it feel to have made it from there to here? And seeing the show grow and accumulate all these fans that are watching us now.
I think it's amazing. I mean, it's been such an amazing thing to be a part of. It's different because if for actors, I think doing a live action show, you're sitting around for 5 days shooting 1.5 hour of television. That's a lot of time, and that's a lot of downtime and that kind of thing. But this has felt slow but fast for me, if that makes any sense, because we can go in and record a bunch of things, a bunch of episodes in a day. But then obviously it takes time to animate. So it's been very interesting to me. It's felt like, I feel like we just started, but I also feel like we've been doing it forever, if that makes any sense.
Cool. Yeah. And I'm kind of curious, do you guys have any memory, what's kind of your earliest memory of the show, whether it's Noelle or DreamWorks reaching out to you, or kind of your first day recording? What is kind of one of the earliest kind of primal memories that you remember from
working on the show? It's so hard figuring out who's going to talk on Zoom.
Okay. Do you want me to call on people? I can do that.
Yeah, I guess we could call on people maybe, or I don't know.
All right,
let's start with when you have an answer.
Yeah, raise it.
Right, if you have an answer, I can call on you.
So polite. Everybody's so polite. I feel like I'm the only Canadian here by blood, but by personality, we're all in the same boat. It's nice. Yeah, in here.
Like Amy, do you remember anything kind of from the beginning of your time on the show?
Yeah, I think my real first memory was getting the email for the audition for SheRa, and I opened it and my husband was sitting next to me, and I happened to read it out loud. I was like, SheRa, and he leapt out of his seat, and he was so excited. I had no idea what it was, because I think I had just missed the original airing. And so my husband's a couple years older than me, so he filled me in right away. And after that, I just knew that it was something that I really wanted to be a part of. And then my second, I guess, big memory was that I think we started right after the election, and we were doing a great episode with Madame Raz And I remember there was this one scene, and everybody was a little bit like high-strung that day, or just not even high-strung, just kind of feeling like a little well. And we did a scene where Madame Raz is like, there are no stars in the universe. And like, I just like bawled my eyes out. I barely knew these people. And then I looked across the room and everyone else was crying too. So I was like, these are my people.
That's so sweet.
Oh.
No,
Am I frozen?
Karen?
Yes.
What do you got?
Yeah, I think one of my first memories, it wasn't the first memory, but one of the most memorable was when we got Marcus, Amy, and AJ, sorry, Lauren, in the room for the first time, and we recorded together. And it was so cool to see how the best friend squad can interact with each other, and then to actually go at it with Katra was something special to me, because reading it on the page, you know, you can imagine so much, but actually hearing it out loud and seeing the characters imagining it was such a special moment for me, I think.
Yeah, like Lauren, you were kind of mentioning the difference between animated and live action, and just like as a journalist, sometimes something I encounter with animated movies or TV shows that I want to cover is that there aren't always great stories, because a lot of times with animation people just kind of record it in isolation from each other, but I have the impression that was not super true on SheRa, especially like Amy, Kim, Marcus, the best friend squad. Did you guys kind of record together a lot?
We did. Yeah, it was such a great thing to be able to do, and that's a testament to everybody that put the show together. I think that there was an understanding early on that it was going to be a creative environment. It was going to be like open and sort of like not a loose format, because obviously we have a script, but Noelle and everyone else was so kind about letting us sort of do our own things. And that wouldn't have happened, I don't think, unless we'd been in the same room.
But at the same time, I feel like we didn't have all of you together. Like, it was so rare that it was like all of you at once. So it was usually like a smaller combination. So I feel like those times when we did get to have everyone was like really special. And I remember that first record, and it was just like the like chemistry sparks were like happening, and it was like, it was so cool to just see you guys bounce off of each other.
Sorry.
No,
I think, sorry. I think in the beginning we recorded together a lot in season 1, especially, and I think that helped us kind of get in the rhythm of things, because after a while I could just read the script and hear everyone else's voices and how they might play it. So I think that beginning stage was really helpful, as you know, someone that like needs to figure out what to do for the next record, I guess. Yeah, the banter is the fun part.
I have some really vivid memories of just recording the first initial episode, going into DreamWorks for the first time and actually getting in the booth, you know, whether it was Amy and I together or just me on my own, but figuring out how to perform a fight scene. Like for me, one of our first moments is meeting us in the Horde for the first time as kids. Right. And, you know, there's that first challenge that you see Katra and Adora in, and of course, Katra's late, and finally we see where she is. And we have that moment where I think it's the first time I say, hey, Adora. And Bar is kind of stuck, and Adora is like holding on through the tunnel, and she's like about to fall. And I'm like, hey, Adora. And she's like, of course you showed up. And it's such a cute moment because it really kind of establishes this kind of darkness behind Katra, that's how she plays, but also this strength between their friendship, and how solid they are as friends. But that's one of my first like favorite scenes that I think we ever did together. I think we were in the recording room together when we did that.
We were, and I remember you, it was one of the first times that you were doing like you were finding your cat.
Yes.
And it
took me a while to find my cat.
No, it actually it just took like a few tries, and I was like, I would never be able to even begin to figure out how to play this character, and it was so wonderful to watch, and it was just such a treat.
That's so sweet.
And it's funny that I guess probably a dynamic between your characters may have been mirrored in real life, because Adora and Katra spend a lot of time together right at the beginning of the show, and more so in season 1, and then they're kind of separated from each other a lot over the course of it. So is that ever kind of fun to like come back in and recording with someone that you haven't seen for a while, or just by the nature of the plot of the seasons?
Yes. Honestly, whenever I would get an email saying like, you know, you're confirmed to come in for this time, I would always, the first thing I'd look for is how many people were going to be in the court. Because obviously we have totally different schedules as actors, and we all, you know, are very busy, and not everyone's going to be able to record on the same time, same day. But like, I would literally look like, who's in my group? Am I alone or am I with people? And really, there'd be times where you did a bunch of episodes on your own, and then finally you'd be like, oh my gosh, like it's me and everyone in this. Like we get to all be together. And it actually makes that moment that much more exciting, because it's just so great to play off each other when you're actually all in the same booth.
Yeah.
Like you, like AJ, you and Amy, for some reason, it was really hard getting you both together a lot of the times. So it was really special when we actually could get you together.
And then
Show.
That's like uncanny ability to like, every time you did the scene, it was almost like you could hear each other.
Yeah.
It was really like, because there were episodes I'm like, I really want them together, and then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But you always, like, your first instinct always seemed to like mirror the other, even when you weren't in the booth together. It was kind of amazing.
A lovely compliment. I remember, I think I was in New York for like 6 months doing that play. I think maybe that's why it didn't work out, especially a lot in that during that year. But yeah, I mean, just those few precious like records together in the beginning really kind of sets the tone, and you're like, okay, I can, what Karen was saying, like I can kind of imagine AJ saying this way, and it's really great.
Marcus, what do you kind of remember from early on?
I feel like one of my earliest memories, I used to always go to DreamWorks for like auditions and stuff, and I'd never really booked anything. And then finally when I booked SheRa, I was like, yes, now I can eat in the lunchroom. The most exciting thing on the planet for me. But I remember when I first got the audition, my parents were extremely excited, which I know he's so young, but my parents were really hyped for me to audition. My dad is a huge He-Man fan.
Oh wow!
My mom loved SheRa growing up as well, so I watched a bunch of old episodes, and I was excited to be a part of it. And it was kind of cool because as soon as I went into the audition room, Noelle was there and everybody was there, and kind of made an immediate connection. And I was like, oh wow, these are people I'd love to work with. Luckily they felt the same way, and like here we are. And also just mirroring what everybody else said, getting in the booth with everybody was so special, because I've been a part of like other animation before where they separate everyone and it's not as fun and you can't play off of each other. But immediately we kind of just like connected and clicked. And then after that point, like we could just go in the room and just perform it, because you knew exactly how the other actors would perform their scenes, and it was just immediate chemistry.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I kind of want to do I think it'd just be useful for everyone, do kind of a refresher of where all the various characters stand at the end of going into season 5. Because, of course, anybody who's caught up on the show, as I hope that people watching this are, season 4 was really intense. It kind of messed with everyone in its uniquely specific way. So I think what I'll do is kind of just go, call on you guys like one or two by one. You kind of talk about where your character's mindset is, and Noelle, of course, can be free to jump in with all the smart kind of thematic stuff. And I wanted to start, Amy, with you again, because that's a very, it's a character that's very obviously gone through a ringer here. Kind of who is Adora without her sword, and how is she feeling kind of without that going into the new season? Just a refresher, she broke her sword to prevent it from being used to fire the heart of Etheria at the end of season.
Yeah, so I think that, and Noelle can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my mind, we meet Adora in season 5, and she is about to experience, like, in life when the world or the universe or whatever you want to call it just throws you all of the lessons of the last few years, and it's just like, did you learn it? Are you sure? Did you learn it? And I think that that's kind of what she's facing in the beginning, and she experiences a little bit of like a dark night of the soul, because she's gone through so much in terms of finding who she is and her purpose and why she's there. And it's been such a roller coaster. And then the one thing that she could sort of really rely on, which was her ability to transform in her sword and SheRa, the one sort of constant in her life and throughout the past few throughout the time that we've known her is gone. And so she has to find out who she is without that. And I think that's where we find her.
Cool. Well, I actually want to go to Lauren next, because as I was getting ready for this, I was kind of thinking about it, and I thought about how, in some ways, what Scorpia went through over the course of season 4 is maybe not that different from what Adora and SheRa went through, in the sense that I think it's the beginning of season 4, maybe the end of season 3, the scenes that of Scorpia kind of looking at the black garnet and thinking about how this was like her family's inheritance that was kind of stolen from her by the Horde, and she's never really been able to kind of embrace that power that it is her birthright. Like Adora SheRa, she finally does learn to embrace that power, and of course it's part of this horrible doomsday machine. On top of that, she's left Catra and the Horde, so a lot of different things Scorpia has been through lately. How would you kind of describe her at the beginning, going into season 5, Lauren?
I'm just trying to remember like what the order of everything is. It starts to all the seasons start to run together for me. So I'm like, where does that? Right? Where's the line? Yes. So Scorpia's journey in general, I think, on this show is just so relatable. I think it's so human, ironically, because is she fully human? But it's right. I think it's such a relatable human thing for someone to kind of go on this journey into self-discovery and to kind of learning who they are and learning who they are on their own. You know, I think that that's something that everybody kind of goes through. Like, you get to a point when you eventually go out into the world on your own, and that's a very scary thing. And certainly for her, she grew up with one kind of set of one reality, one world. And now everything is kind of turned over, and the person that she was devoted to, she's now, realizing maybe she shouldn't have been devoted to for all that time. So, I mean, she's coming into season 5, definitely, having gone through a mass amount of change, and there's been a lot of, chaos for her. And so, getting to continue that journey into season 5 is very satisfying. I think people will be very satisfied with some of the really great Scorpia stuff that happens in season 5.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I kind of want to call on AJ and Karen together, since Catra and Glimmer are in very similar spaces. I mean, that both on the physical level, they've both been transported to Horde Prime's ship, but also kind of in a social level, they both kind of made decisions over the course of season 4 that pushed their friends away. At the same, that's because that's how they kind of maybe thought that that's what a leader is, and that's what it means to kind of accept these responsibilities. But now here they are, miles from home, and each other are kind of the only face that they even recognize around them right now. So whoever wants to go first, where are kind of Catra and Glimmer right now?
Do you want to take it? You go for it.
Sure, yeah. I think it's weird for Catra because she's so used to being in control, or at least thinking she's in control, that she's now in this position. Hordak is no longer around. Horde Prime is really the leader here. And she has no idea how to be around him. She's like, will he even accept me? Am I going to be his accomplice? What am I going to learn from him? Is he going to feel like I am someone that can properly stand up to him without saying too much or doing something that's going to completely, put him over the edge? And I think it kills her that she's stuck with Glimmer, and they're kind of physically in the same position where it's like they're stuck, and they feel a little bit at this point like equals, which Catra hates, because Glimmer is someone that she has always looked at as like sparkly queen, so not who I want to deal with. And now they're both kind of in the same position, even though Catra is not really being treated like a prisoner. She probably at this point feels like a prisoner because she doesn't know anything about Horde Prime, how scary and dangerous he really is. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see Glimmer and Catra kind of, team up together, essentially, which to me was like one of the most unexpected moments of this season.
Yeah. So like Catra, Glimmer ends up in Horde Prime's ship, or held as prisoner, and she got there because she didn't listen to any of her friends, went against everyone's advice, and used the heart of Etheria. in I think season 4, she does anything she can to figure out how to defeat the Horde, and that includes working with Shadow Weaver, and which was a little dicey, and even though she gained a lot of magical powers from it. And then she ends up using the Heart of Etheria, and she truly believes that she's doing the right thing. She has no bad intentions, but she puts herself in a very dangerous position and risks the future of everyone. And then she finds herself trapped with Catra, the one person that she probably hates more than Horde Prime. And that's the only person she can kind of talk to or relate to. And think, without giving too much away, they find that they have a lot of common ground within this process. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Before I get you guys in trouble, Marcus. Marcus, Bo, last but certainly not least, is also in a very interesting position now, because kind of one of the most fun things about SheRa and the group dynamic, I think, is we have this male main character, and yet he's never really assertive or trying to take the leadership role. He's always been more than happy to support his friends and kind of be the person who does whatever kind of needs to be done to help all these crazy people. But now he's in a position where Glimmer, his best friend and the leader of the rebellion, is gone. Adora's around, but SheRa's not. And so, and now the Horde Prime's armies are here, and it's a bigger threat than they've ever faced. And so it feels like Bo might have to step up a little bit, even though that's kind of unnatural for him. How would you describe his mindset right now?
I think that Bo right now is definitely in a bit of a frantic state. He really wants to get Glimmer back, being that that's one of his childhood friends, almost like a sister at this point. And it kind of pains him to have her gone. And Bo is not the type to step up into a leadership role, but right now he has to assume that position if he wants to hold strong against Horde Prime's armies. But at the same time, I feel like even if Bo were to step into leadership position, he's used to having his friends surrounding him to give him kind of inspiration. And like you said, we don't have SheRa right now because of her broken sword, and Glimmer's over there with Horde Prime. So Bo's a bit frantic. He wants to get his friend back, but most of all, he also wants to protect Etheria. So it's just like he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, because he's not in a position he's used to, and he doesn't have the people he's used to having support him. And Bo's normal, cheery, positive personality is allowed because he's able to support others, but now he doesn't have anyone. So I think he's kind of spiraling at this point.
Well, maybe on a brighter note, we did get some questions submitted by fans, and I wanted to ask you one from @Catra's Baby, which is a great handle. What is your favorite? What is your favorite Bo moment of the first 4 seasons?
Oh, favorite Bo moment.
Bowman.
There it
Bowman.
is.
Look at that.
There it is.
Come on, Amy.
Well, you need a new writer for another.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorites is always, because I'm not a singer. I can't sing for my life. Like I have no musical talents whatsoever, but we got to sing sea shanties.
Yes.
If anybody's ever played like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I love pirate games more than anything on the planet. And so I would always play pirate games and just sail around on my ship and play sea shanties. Like that's all I'd have my crew do. And so form an actual sea shanty with Jordan Fisher, and we got to do Bo X Seahawk. Was so exciting for me.
Fun for us too, by the way. It was like, that was the best day ever for us.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
We had to ask Jordan if we could like film him, because everything he was doing, we were like, that's so Seahawk. We need to.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's just dancing around the recording booth. Like no one, my guy, and like it was
so
fun.
Much energy. It was it was so exciting. But also I feel like one of my favorite episodes is our D&D episode, and getting to do that with everybody was so fun, and just explore different assets and facets of everybody's personalities in the show was really cool. And getting to see it animated later was amazing.
Yeah, what I mean, for the rest of you guys, what has maybe been the craziest moment of like recording versus seeing it come to life, kind of animated on the screen like that, if you have one?
For me, it's usually the fight scenes, like the really intense, aggressive ones. And sometimes, you know, we give a ton of options so that they can kind of be used for future episodes so that we don't hurt our voices, or we can kind of stay fresh in that moment. But other times we're doing it in the room. It's like, no, we need this full fight scene now, and we need it for this episode specifically. And I think some of the, or at least the one that really, to me, is one of my favorite fight scenes is between Katra and Tongue Lasher. I really love that sequence. And I so badass. And it was really fun to record. I didn't get to record with the actor who played Tongue Lasher, but which funny enough was Mary, right?
No, not Mary. He plays another character in that episode, but not Tongue Lasher. That'd be very impressive, though.
Yeah.
Mary's
no, you know what? But she did the Tongue Lasher. Obviously, she would help me and play the other voice sometimes. So I think I'm connecting her as that character, which is really
all
fun.
characters are Mary.
Every character was Mary that wasn't us.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite fight scenes, and seeing it come to life in full animation was like magic, because you never know what that stuff's going to look like, and seeing that was one of the first times we were actually seeing that land. So it was a really cool moment for me.
I love
really SheRa. We have like all of your effort libraries, and it's like whenever we need to just like throw in a punch or a hit or whatever, we can like just scroll through and listen to. It's a very weird experience to just be like 18 different kinds of hits, and I'm like, let's get one that's more pain, less pain. It is very strange, because I'm like, it stops sounding like human voices after a certain point. It's like,
no, this doesn't sound Crimson Waste enough. Keep going.
I'm actually, after this is all over, I'm gonna need my vocal library.
Yes.
I'm gonna need my effort masters.
Yeah.
You have so many lines that just end with you swearing or just going off on another like tangent or like a comedy bit, and we have all of that. Like, we have
my God.
For Amy, a lot of them became crew memes.
Memes. I want to see them.
Yeah.
Is there any world where we could see a blooper reel at some point, like a vocal blooper reel?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
It is right now. I gotta find it. It's
I think
great.
that would be awesome. I know that would be a lot of work for 5C for an editor to put together, but
it's good. We used to, especially for Amy, because she would always swear so much. We would swear and then put them into the animatics or into the final animation.
Oh my God!
Yeah, noted.
I love
All right,
it.
everybody, listen, everybody watching, it's up to you. #, release the SheRa bloopers.
Release the tapes. Release the tapes.
The one that like really went around a lot, there was just one, I don't even know who found it or where it came from, but it's just Amy going, "Believe in yourself, God damn it!" And that was our rally cry for such a long time.
Oh my God, that rules. Awesome. Well, I guess the last bit of table setting I wanted to do for people going into season 5 is, you know, we've been hearing about Horde Prime for a couple seasons now, and he didn't really show up until the end of season 4. And so, Noelle, I was wondering just if you could tease a little bit, because obviously all the characters who are now going to be encountering Horde Prime, first of all, Katrin Glimmer on his ship, all they know is Hordak. So what is the difference? What is the level up from Hordak to Horde Prime, and not just like the extra eyes on the side of his face?
There is no contest between Hordak and Horde Prime. It's like everything that Hordak was trying to do was just kind of like a crappy version of like kind of like half remembered things about Horde Prime. Like, he was not, once you actually meet Horde Prime, it's so clear like what a thin shadow of him Hordak is. And I don't think any of our characters are prepared for Horde Prime. Like, this fight has been so personal up until now, even with like the biggest villains like Hordak and Shadow Weaver. The conflict is so personal between those characters and our heroes. And so it's all been, you know, people fighting who know each other. And Horde Prime kind of just completely throws the board over. It just like, it's suddenly a whole new game. nothing that they've achieved so far actually matters at this point, which is, I think, very off-putting for most of our characters. But Horde Prime is just like on a whole other level that they almost can't even understand, because they've lived their whole lives on this planet that was all by itself with no universe out there, and now there's a universe out there. And so I think like Bo is feeling that as they're like sailing out into the unknown, just like how are we even equipped to deal with this? Like, I have a bow and arrow. Like, what are we gonna do against this guy with this infinitely huge clone army who's like, not only his like his cruelty is sort of like mysterious to them, but also just sort of like so insidious. It's not like Hordak, where he was always kind of yelling and like his emotions were pretty clear most of the time. But Horde Prime is just like, he's so in control that it's just almost like this, like, he gets to be genteel. He gets to be almost passive in this way, which I think is terrifying. And Keston John, who voices him, it's like he just really brings this terrifying, like, steeliness to that character. And yeah, I don't think any of our characters are really prepared to deal with him at this point. It's something that they've never faced anything like this before.
I will say Bo does have trick arrows.
That's true. And they come
not just his bow.
You're right. Bo has that.
It's like always this like, I'm an archer, I'm going to space.
Yeah.
How does the bow
That's kind of counterintuitive, but you know.
it's like arrows.
Yeah.
No, actually, some of my favorite bow trick arrows are this season. So.
Awesome. Well, you know, as winding down, I want to get in a few more fan questions before we disperse. But first, I kind of wanted to bookend it by, you know, we started kind of talking about your first memories. What is kind of one of your last memories or from working on the show that you'll kind of take with you? AJ, you recorded a cover of the theme song that played over the trailer. Was that kind of that moment for you?
I would say so. Yeah, that was like my last recording. I think that was after we had done any dialogue. Noelle and the team at DreamWorks and Netflix, they had asked me if I'd come in and do a re-record of Warriors, and I was thrilled because it's a totally different take on the song, and it's a little bit more sinister and dark, and you know, it doesn't have that bright cheery pop intro that the original has when you watch the series. But it was cool because I was able to come at it as Katra's perspective, her POV, the darker side of things. And it's a bit of like, to me, like her song to Adora. I personally, like, I love this take on it. I think the writers did an incredible job. It's such a great pop song. And to sing it and be a part of something that wasn't something that was originally written by me or my band, it was cool because I was able to just kind of come into it as a character. But that was like my last recording, and it was heavy. It was emotional. I mean, I had a hard time saying goodbye. I remember I like did not leave the parking lot for a bit after the recording ended, which was so silly, but I do get really connected to these roles. And I know that this was kind of obviously, you know, coming to an end. So it was emotional for me to know that like, I wouldn't necessarily get to do anything with Katra again.
I remember like someone in the room had the idea to like start throwing in those like Hey Adoras, which I think ended up getting mixed into the end of the song. And we had a producer who she had been the one to kind of create this darker remix. And as you were doing the Hey Adora, she like turns to me and she's like, what does that mean? What is like the meaning of that? Or like the bigger significance? Because it seems to be something that has a lot of meaning. And I was like, where do we even start?
Do you have a Netflix account?
Exactly.
But it was emotional. It was really powerful.
Yeah, I'm glad they can. I think it's a really great ending to the song. It's funny, my mom commented on it. She was like, I love that they kept that Hey Adora in.
You thought you lived behind.
What was it like for the rest of you guys? Where it kind of hit you that it was over?
We had, I think either Noelle recorded it or maybe Mary recorded my last line. And it was a pickup, I think, or just ADR, meaning we had already recorded the last episode, but it was just sort of like maybe picking up a new line or cleaning it up or whatever. And it was like so emotional. And I think we had a champagne toast at the end. And, you know, you're never really prepared to say goodbye to these characters, but a part of you just hopes and wishes that they are going to go on and lead very boring lives that no one wants to know. And
yeah, totally.
totally well-adjusted and boring. And so yeah, what's that?
They're not even worth capturing. Netflix and Dreamworks are like, these roles are boring now. We don't need to continue.
Yes, they're so satisfied in their lives that
slice of life, no conflict whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's all the characters move into an apartment together and jobs.
Exactly. So that was my last memory was, I think, Noelle, was my last pickup one of the gray skulls? I don't remember.
I don't remember what it is, but it's like a little bit of a spoiler. So okay. I think Mary and I recorded you doing it.
Yeah, I have it too. Maybe you sent it to me. So I don't know. Once the show is already out and people have gotten the chance to watch it, maybe we can put that out there. Yeah. But it's meant the world to us to be able to do the show and have people like it and find meaning in it. So yeah.
Awesome. And Lauren, you were making such a great point earlier about how relatable kind of Scorpia's journey is over the course of the show. And we had a pretty smart question here from a fan at Adora's Bay, which I think between that and Catcher's Baby is a great little summation of how passive fans or invested fans are in these characters.
Yeah.
But they asked kind of, what would you like viewers of SheRa to learn from the show? It's kind of so interesting that this is such a bright and colorful show in a lot of ways, but has not, really shied away from the darkness of the world. Like you were saying, it began in, right after the election, and now it's happening in quarantine. But what do you hope people kind of take away from it?
I think it's kind of twofold. I think that obviously as entertainers, like we get into this industry because we want to provide content to entertain people. And so now more than ever, obviously in our current state of the world, I'm happy that there is something that is, exciting and smart and relevant and that people really love and that people are probably still finding for the first time right now because a lot of people have a lot of time on their hands. So that's the first thing is that, you just hope that you create something that resonates with people. And we definitely did with this. And then I think on the flip, I think the more, the bigger themes that I would hope people would learn is like, believing in yourself and understanding that if you don't feel like you're somebody who has found your group of people or you feel like you're on an island metaphorically, that this show, I think in so many beautiful ways shows how you just haven't gotten there yet. You're on your journey and you'll find who you are, and you'll find who the people are in your life that are going to make you feel the most yourself. And I think that that's a theme that comes up in so many different ways on this show in such a beautiful way with representation and all of those things that I would hope that would be. And that's what, a lot of fans have communicated too, is feeling like they see themselves in these characters, and that these characters resonate with them at different points in their lives and stuff like that. So I think that it's something that people can watch back in years later and then be like, wow, this has a new meaning to me, or I see myself in someone else now, and I think that that's kind of like the benchmark of a really smartly written and created show.
Well said.
Yeah, very well said. Cool. Well, I have one very fun question that a fan sent in that I want to end on. But first, you did a great job of mentioning how the show has resonated with fans. I was able to see in person your guys' panel at New York Comic Con last fall, which was the season 4. You showed the season 4 premiere a little early, and everybody was really into it. And so I'm curious, especially for someone like you, Karen, who Glimmer has grown so much over the course of the show. And now obviously I'm kind of thinking of that episode in season 4 and how she's queen. Have you detected kind of energy from the fans about kind of investing in this character and watching her grow?
Yeah, I think I've always seen Glimmer in this shining light, and season 4, she dives into the dark bits of her personality, and a lot of the fans had opinions about that, and it made me very sad going in, and I kept reading the script and I was like, maybe she redeems herself here. Not yet? Okay. I want to be likable. Like, come on, Glimmer.
Get on board.
No, I think it's fantastic how the fans have responded. Hearing their thoughts on Glimmer and what she does lets me know that like they care. And I think in season 5, she kind of comes around. And I hope that everyone responds well to her.
Well, I just want to say, this really kind of speaks to what I was just speaking about, and go with me on this for a second. But the first time I watched Sex and the City, I had judgments. Yes. I judged Carrie very harshly. But then years later when I rewatched, I was like, I get it now, Carrie. I get it. Carrie. And I think that people will do that about the Glimmer storyline too. I think that when you watch it again and you're in a different place in your life, you're like,
it has to age.
Exactly.
It has to age. Absolutely.
It's like everybody now just wants Miranda.
Like, I feel so protective over her too, because I'm like, no, she's a good person. Everyone.
I think Lauren just said it here first. Glimmer is the Carrie Bradshaw of
Quote me.
I just want to say, because like Glimmer is really close to my heart. I'm very, very protective of her as well. And I just think that like from the very start, like writing Glimmer, it was like, she's all of these things that I think in stories like we aren't used to. Mm-hmm. Or it's like in a lot of ways, it's like she is pink, she is sparkly, she is adorable, she is like loud, she says what she thinks. She goes for it all the time, but she's also insecure, and she's like, you know, struggles with like having people take her seriously. In so many ways, Glimmer is like, I think all of us, like, I think that's why people are uncomfortable with her character sometimes, because it's like, she's our mirror. Like, that's
a little
like
too close to home.
That's like, you know,
she really is like, she's like the innocence. She's like the innocence of the show. Like,
well, also like, I think being a woman in some ways, you know, it's like all of those things that like, it feels like it's so wrapped up in like, oh, is this how people see me? Do people see me as like not being strong enough? Are they not taking me seriously? And like, all of those fears are like wrapped up in her character, but like always her like strength and her like dedication, I think she really does speak to a lot of people, because that is like, she's us. I think she's so familiar, and she's so like, she has this strength in her heart, and she doesn't give up. Like, I think my favorite moment with her is at the end of season 4, after she realizes that she's made this huge mistake, and she immediately turns around and tries to fix it. Mm-hmm. Immediately, no hesitation whatsoever. And I think it's just like, she's like just this kind of strength that like I just really wanted to show in the show, even in these ways that are like sometimes kind of stigmatized when it comes to characters, because we're not used to seeing female characters like this. But I think it's really important. I think it's really important to show that like, this is what strong looks like. Like, because she's real, she's human.
One of the best things about this show, I think too, is that it's really not like, you don't meet your heroes when they're already heroes. You're meeting them as they're learning how to be leaders and heroes. And that requires a lot of overcoming challenges and dealing with personal flaws and learning how to work as a team. And I think that's what really, one of the many things that sets the show apart, is that you are watching the making of heroes, you know, and it's not a linear process. Growth doesn't just go like this. And that's what makes the show relatable too.
Yeah, no, that's so well said, because I think all of the characters, all of the princesses are flawed in some kind of way, and yet they still are able to accomplish things and work together. And that's a huge message that I stand behind for the show too.
Yeah, very, very well said, guys. Yeah, you know, I mean, this is something that really came to the fore for me, especially in season 4, was that even though these characters are magical space princesses, you know, with superpowers and swords and stuff, the general kind of what they're generally kind of struggling against is something that a lot of us struggle with, especially in this time. And when you learn something horrible, like the world just wants to use you as a weapon or whatever, learning to kind of work around that and get power from your friends and all that. So that's all been very serious and extremely well said. So now I want to do something very goofy, because a fan suggested this and now I can't resist it. It's from at Kay the Cat Lady. Can all of the cast do their best impression of Catra saying, "Hey, Adora"?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Who starts?
I can start, maybe.
That
It's like, "Hey, Adora,
Oh.
Whoa. That's
Well
fire,
done.
Naz.
Whoa.
I see.
Coming for your job, AJ.
Yeah.
Well, good thing it's over.
Yeah. I want to hear Marcus do it. I'm like dying to hear Marcus do it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Marcus, next.
All right. It's hard for me to be serious.
Okay, we can all close our eyes.
All right.
Hey, Adora.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of decent.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it. Very like smoldering, yeah.
Yeah, like the pause you took.
I like the
Yeah.
pause.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
I like that.
Dramatic effect.
Lauren, you're next.
Hey, Adora.
Oh!
Yes.
Feeling things.
Oh!
Feeling things.
Good. Good.
I feel like if
Wow.
Scorpia had tapped into that sexiness earlier on, things might have ended differently. Let it take.
Yeah.
I'm just
You
saying.
remember the first Heodora in the show because, yeah.
You know, listen, but Scorpio would just be like, "Hey, Adora! Ah!
Hey, Dora!
Hey, Laura.
Hey, literally, hi, Adora.
And
Hey!"
the like Scorpio equivalent was like, Katra!
Yeah.
Hey,
Katra! Katra!
That's right.
We would just let you go with that one. Just like,
Oh yeah, that was a joy. The bit that just kept giving. I love it.
never got tired of it.
Amy, Karen, do you want to try?
Sure. Okay. Adora really never gets to be smoldering, so get ready. Hey, Adora. I don't know.
Oh, that was good.
I love that. I love that role
Yeah.
Karen?
Okay. All right. All right. It's a tough act to follow.
reversal.
Hey, Adora.
Ooh.
Wow.
Sexy.
Sexy.
Hey, Adora.
Beautiful.
Let the fandom do a super cut of all of these,
Yeah.
just back to back to back.
Or vote on their favorites.
You know,
Oh.
what's on your favorite?
Also,
Absolutely.
Noelle, I really feel like you have to do it too.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
I was really hoping that you would forget about me.
Doubtful.
Let me see. Like, my favorite thing about the Heodoras is that there's just like so many of them. Like, of course, we have a library of those as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like my favorite Heodora. Well, my
Right,
favorite one's coming up, but so I can't do that one.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
Oh, look, she's got the hair.
Yeah, I gotta like embody the character of Dan. Hey, Adora.
Oh.
I don't know.
All so
Why you
different.
hire actors?
All right.
No
Yeah.
one tried to do what someone else was doing. Everyone had their own take
Yeah.
on it.
AJ, now you have to do it. Come on,
Do
don't
you-
end on that.
You want to get? Yeah. Give us the
teach
real
us how
deal.
to do it.
Okay. Hey, Adora.
And that's the
There's
master.
the
There you
master.
go.
Yeah.
Good
Full
thing
circle.
last.
Full circle.
Awesome. Well, maybe as a last thing, Noelle, do you kind of have any last messages kind of to the fans before we log off here and send them on their way to the final season?
Thank you, everyone, for coming on this journey with us. It has been an incredible few years. I have been blown away by your support and your enthusiasm every step of the way, and you just really made this such a joyful and fulfilling like part of my life. And so thank you for caring, thank you for loving these characters, thank you for putting yourselves into this show, because it's meant the world to me, and I am just so emotional and so honored, and this is it. So thank you for everything. It's been the honor of a lifetime, truly. So let's do this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an emotional weekend for everybody involved. But thank you guys so much for kind of coming together and letting us talk the fans through these very stressful hours before the premiere.
Thank you so much for having us.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.